The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Sidebar, its guests, callers, and advisors are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS Verizon Media Group. Sidebar, a 103.5 The Beat podcast, is a production of ILTV Studios and may not be reproduced or represented, in part or in its entirety, without the express written consent of Verizon Media Group. Sidebar is the intellectual property of Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2024. All rights reserved.
Welcome back to Sidebar, a 103 The Beat podcast, powered by ILTV. I'm Stephen Hanna. So, I'm going to assume that you know what PTSD is. And if you don't, just think about like any movie that you've watched about war and the person returns home and they're having like a hard time fitting back in with society. Most likely the writer and director were trying to portray PTSD, whether it's Rambo in the movie First Blood, where he returns from the Vietnam War, an antisocial, mumbling, violent killing machine who doesn't feel like he fits into society. Or whether it's Barney Ross from The Expendables, an antisocial, mumbling, violent killing machine who doesn't. So listen, if it's Sylvester Stallone, he's either playing a guy in need of therapy or someone with intense brain trauma. Sometimes both. But for the purposes of this intro, I am going to offend all of the psychologists and psychiatrists out there and say, when you see people on TV having flashbacks of violent events or frozen in fear for something, that is PTSD. Now, that's an oversimplification, but bear with me. What does this have to do with the Bahamas and you? Good question. So, according to some Europeans doing research, 2.6% of the people that are in a non-life-threatening traffic accident, adults or children, are diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD. When it's life-threatening, that number jumps to 4.6%. And while you're saying, hey man, that's not a big deal, 4.6% are the odds of the Miami Dolphins winning the Super Bowl. Think about how often your girl is mashed up a little Paso China Park. You don't think that she's increasing her odds each time she do that? The point is, most of us don't even think about traffic accidents as trauma or a big deal, but it could result in a big deal diagnosis like PTSD. So here's the good news. Most people who experience trauma don't end up getting PTSD. But you know who is more likely to get PTSD? Victims of childhood abuse and victims of sexual assault. I know a lot of men who were victims of physical abuse in their childhood. And I know more women who were victims of sexual assault. I kind of want to do a sidebar here, but honestly, it'll just be a rant about my personal feelings that honestly aren't fully formed. Like, I don't think that capital punishment makes sense in most situations. Like, outside of a purely pragmatic approach, because, I mean, you can't keep 8 men in a broom closet for 30 years. But when it comes to non-consensual, violent sexual assault, I am very open to state-sponsored killings. Like, if you are a rapist and we know you're a rapist and you rape 0.5 people, send them back to Jesus since he wants to go. Anyway, sometimes PTSD looks like anhedonia, apathy, impaired attention, which honestly are just fancy college people ways of saying you stop liking things, you don't care about things, you don't pay attention to things. On hearing those symptoms, was your first response, hey, people just need to stop being sad, babe? Or, hey, a fender bender could do that? Maybe it's more traumatic than I first thought. the thing is, PTSD isn't the only mental health issue that people could be dealing with. And we wouldn't even know. We don't even know what to look for because mental health issues are so unaddressed in our country that when we see it, we just assume that it's either a genetic defect, it's drugs, maybe they date the wrong gal and she break their heart. In fact, sidebar, remember how evil colonizers would say things like blacks are lazy because all they do is sleep? And I've heard some historians point out that it makes sense to sleep in the day and work when it's cool as a justification and something misunderstanding. Anyway, you know what no one takes into account? That enslaved people were people. And there's nothing that I can think of that is more depressing than being enslaved. So just think about it for a second, that one of the signs of depression is that you are sleeping all the time. Why has no one ever thought to ask, were enslaved people depressed? Because that makes so much sense when you say it out loud, but I don't think I've ever heard anybody say it aloud. I think on some level, we still don't think that they were real people. Anyway, even today, we still don't recognize the obvious signs of people dealing with mental health issues. I know one of the issues that comes up often is, what's the big deal? That happened to me, or worse, and I fine. But the question will always be, are you fine? It doesn't seem like normal person behavior to wish a violent death on a person just because they cut you off in traffic when you still got to where you was going on time. But it felt like they not only violated you, but also they disrespected you. I'm talking to myself right now. It really isn't that serious. Why are you getting so worked up over a dog? That person, they live irresponsibly. And most likely, they are going to drive off of Clifton Pier and no one will find them or their vehicle for months. What was I talking about? Mental health. And that's what we will be talking about today with our special guests. You know them, you love them. I'm not going to say it and have you shame me again. This is Sidebar, a 103 to B podcast powered by ILTV. We will be right back.
Get ready to win Lucky Bucks. Wherever you see this taxi, flag it down.
The boy hard, beating so hard, I will be hard. I'm looking for my first contestant to ride in the Lucky Taxi. Walk in the taxi, you got this lucky walk there. Oh, thanks. Man, thank you, sir. 85 times 2 is how much, brother? You only win $170, brother.
I never expected to win as much as I win.
Bang along.
Very excited when the gentleman picked me to ride inside the taxi.
So if I had to choose a game that would stay, it would be Island of Taxi.
You could be next on the Island Lucky Taxi.
You wouldn't believe that number I just played dropping quick 4. This 5K incoming clutch, my boy.
So you ain't had the mega ball on that?
You know mega ball on quick 4, my man.
Oh, okay then.
Mega Ball, now available on Quick 4. Multiply your winnings with the only 4-ball game that pays $20,000. With a draw every 30 minutes, your chances to win are mega.
I bet you I could beat you running into this long ball.
I bet you my drink will come out before yours. Well.
I bet you I could hold my breath longer.
Bet.
Hey, wait.
If it can happen, you can bet it. So why not bet with us? The Bahamas' #1 online casino, lottery, and sportsbook. We bet you won't find bigger payouts anywhere else but islandluck.com. Winners live here.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Welcome back to Sidebar, 103 to Beat podcast, powered by ILTV. I'm Stephen Hanna, and today we have with us Rodericka Collie, mental health expert. What do you?
Counseling psychologist.
There
we go.
There you go. And so today we are talking about mental health, and earlier you were asking me, well, why do I want to talk about it? Because I honestly am concerned. All right, it feels like every day. Now, growing up in New Providence, everybody had like a neighborhood Joneso that you're familiar with. You're like, okay, that person is this, and you hear the stories, but they get lace or whatever, right? But now it feels like every day it's a new person walking the road, screaming and cursing to themselves. What is happening?
Well, a lot of that is alcohol and other forms of drugs. But a lot of it is alcohol is because people don't know how to deal with their issues outside of drinking. If you had a bad day, you need some form of release, and we usually use we usually use drugs of some form of alcohol or whatever. And so you experience all this stress and frustration at work, the stress and frustration at school, the stress and frustration within your family house. And so it's like, okay, what do I do to cope with this? How do I deal with these challenges? How do I push through these things? How do I get over it? And at the very least, you can just distract yourself. And so we try to find pleasure in these things that we're using to just distract ourselves from the pain or the hurt or the uncomfortability or the stress. And so on one end is that, but also is that we're experiencing a lot of frustration. People are very angry.
Yeah. Go ahead.
People are very angry, and people are, I would go so far as to say depressed, but people are frustrated because life is hard.
It is.
And one of the quotes I like to use sometimes is that ignorance is bliss. And so although life was harder for our parents, our grandparents, and whatever, that was a different type of hard.
I was going to say, in some ways,
you know? And so it's like there was a simplicity that came from the routine that they had. And so now we have a lot more access, a lot more stress. Things are a lot more expensive. The food is a lot more unhealthier. The requirements and demands and responsibilities that everyone's have is a lot greater and stuff as well. And so it's like a lot of people feel like they are drowning and they don't know what to do. And so they're bottling up all this anger that they feel. So if you listen to I don't want to call them Juntons, but if you listen to people that are frustrated out on the street, most of it is anger from something that someone did to them or something that someone said to them, and they can't go to the other person. There's no conflict resolution skills. There's no anger management skills that's happening, that's being taught. It's just, okay, I'm mad, let me row.
Yeah, so I've seen recently, I go for walks sometimes, right? And there was, I'm going to say on Carmichael Road in particular, there are people who be walking past me and they are rowing and screaming and cursing at the air, and you'd hope that there's a Bluetooth device in the air. And I was like, no, they're just talking to themselves. There was a woman who was stuck in traffic one time, and she was staring in the side mirror, just screaming and cursing, and it was a full conversation, but it was just her. Nobody was in the car. She wasn't on the phone, and she was stuck in traffic. And the time it took me to walk past her, still cursing, still freaking out, it didn't stop, and it's concerning because, like, what do you do in a situation like that? Because sometimes you'll say, okay, that person, they ain't doing nobody no danger, no harm. But there are times where people seem irrational, they seem volatile, right? What is the right course of action as an individual? Just a random person, you see somebody look like they're having a mental health episode. What should I do?
Well, outside of like active psychosis, right? So like there are some people that are fighting, punching, and there's no one there. Right. But that's a little different. But people that you can see are in some form of distress, you can kind of just show up for them. So now, if it's a stranger on the street, right? So here's how I like to still keep community as much as possible. We like jokes.
Okay.
You know? And so the average person like a joke. Now, they might not find you funny, but at the very least, people like jokes. And so just to be able to say, everything will be okay. Or sometimes it's just concern, even if they don't answer. So to see the miss staring at them and, hey, miss, everything all right? You okay? And then, look for a second, because sometimes people just be like, oh, you okay? And then they just walk off. They don't really care if you okay. Right. But just look for a second. You okay? Everything okay? And to her, that might mean something enough. You know what I mean? To say at least, okay, somebody care about me. Let me, you know what I mean? Think about this a little different or rationalize this a little different. But I think the greatest solution to that would be more preventative things than anything else, right? So when you start talking about mental health, the big picture is that is a community responsibility. So you might not know the person specifically, but she probably live across the street, somewhere. Her family live opposite you. You gone to school with a little brother or something, And so being able to show up for each other in those kinds of spaces would kind of help to branch out. But we can ask questions. We can recommend things if the person is in close proximity to us. But sit down and just have a conversation. You could. It doesn't have to be nothing in deep, because that's a little bit strange. But a lot of people want someone to talk to.
Right.
A lot of people want someone to care. They just don't have access to that. And so sometimes just literally saying, hey, like, you frowning, you rowing, you okay? I like the form of jokes.
Okay.
So sometimes I like to say, what, you mad? Who we gotta fight? Who we need to fight?
And when they say who they gotta fight, then what?
Now tell me why we need to fight them. So now I know what me as a professional though, because I know how to segue that a little bit differently. So now tell me who we need to fight, what they did to you. Let me see what we can do about the problem of what the person did to you. We ain't gotta fight them. We ain't gotta fight them this time.
Listen, I mean, so I'm assuming that you're meaning persons who they're not necessarily, like, they seem that they're just having a moment, right? Not people who are, so you talk about full-on psychosis.
Right. And
then you talk about people who just screaming or just angry, right? And I I honestly don't think people talking to themselves is that weird. I think it's the people who are screaming in the road by themselves.
Right.
That concerns me.
Right, but do you listen to what they're saying though?
Yes, and when I say it, anyway, the things that they say, one, I can't repeat half of it on air, but they don't, it is anger and it is frustration. I don't know if I should approach them because because it's like they seem volatile and then they're just like, oh, I could kill this person, blah, blah, blah. And I understand what you're saying about this is where the community comes in.
Right.
But then I feel like the average person is also going through so much stuff that like, I don't have time for that. They're more concerned about how could I just avoid that. So is there, I guess the question would then be like, are there like structures that we could be a part of or put in place to assist this? Because I know like people don't go to church as much. There aren't as many civic organizations. Like rich people go to civic organizations.
Fair enough.
Like normal broke people don't have no time. They done work their second job. They just trying to go home and be at peace. There's person outside cursing and stuff. So like, what is it that can be done? Or is it a situation where we just you have to sacrifice your time in order for the betterment of the country or your community?
I won't even say sacrificing your time because I think your own healing also can come from the healing of someone else. And so we have a lot of things in common and we can identify with a lot of what other people are going through, which will help us in our own stress because we have the weight of our own worlds on our shoulders. But if it's to us, lifting up these two things together, then that can help us. And I say that to say, there's one guy that used to live through my corner, right? And he appeared to be in an active state of psychosis, for sure. But it was not. He was being, I don't know what I can say on air. He was being abused by his family in the intimate sense. You know what I mean? And so, yes, we looking at him like he talking to nobody there and he cursing to nobody there. And we know it come from drugs. We know that because he lived through the corner. We know it was from drugs. But you have a conversation. But the drugs was trying to address something else. Something else. And so just to be able to have a conversation with him, I can identify with that. If you have a conversation that a lot of people can identify with being abused by their parents, cousins, siblings, whatever. And so a lot of people can identify with that. And so the community healing kind of comes together in a sense of like, so now when I talk to you, and I tell you, like, you could overcome, I can also be talking to myself. So he went to Sandilands for a while. But the challenge with things in this country is like funding and having those resources of access to things that can help. So he went to Sandilands for a while, but what you need is intervention for your family because he'd be fine in Sandilands and he'll be progressing and doing well and then he still have to go back home. And so he's still being triggered when he goes back home. And so is there another relative he could have been by? Is there something that could have been done for, you know, the parents that was hurting him so that they can have a conversation to apologize? I don't know if it was still happening, but if they can have a conversation where he can have some closure, because that's what that disconnect seemed like to me. Just some closure. Why would you do this to me? Was what a lot of his arguments were. And so there's healing from helping other people. Have you ever volunteered somewhere? It feels so good. You can't even focus on your own depression when because it feels really, really good to help other people. And it's not so much about monetary things, because I ain't got it. It's like you ask me for $5, I don't have it. And so I want to sit here with you and hold out my hand with you. I can't do that. But at least we could do that and we could crack jokes together and we can make this a whole experience of begging. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do that. But
I like how this became advocating begging. But
No, I don't advocate for the begging, but at least we can support each other because I know how you feel. And so you don't have to get to the point of where you got to spiral into psychosis or spiral into any kind of other harm, because you have me. I have your back. You have my back because I know exactly what you feel like. I know what you're going through. No, I mean, so I understand that. And I guess, so
the question then would be, what can we do? So you're saying, right? Volunteer some time. Right? Because that may help you as well, but also help the community. And I mean, I still hold that there are people out there who feel like they don't necessarily have all the time. But let's say you have a friend and they are not at the point of walking the road, talking to themselves yet, but you do feel like this person is going through something that I don't know how to handle, or I don't necessarily relate. And maybe there's a deeper root or something, but like you feel like it is beyond me. In those situations, what would be your recommendation? Because, we could, it's one thing where somebody be like, oh man, let's just go out for a drink. But then what if the drink is the problem? Right? And so now you're like, well, I don't know what to do. And like this person going through, like you say, somebody getting abused, but I never been abused, so I don't want to say the wrong thing, and then I make the situation worse. Or somebody's like, they're going through a loss, and it's like, when I experienced the similar loss, when my grandma died, it didn't impact me like this, because it was different for them. How do you handle that? Or what would be your recommendation to an average person to handle that?
Well, the first thing would be that I would recommend services, counseling services. How you go about recommending that counseling services would vary based on the situation. But we do have services, free or ones that you have to pay for the people, the experts that have the tools to give you the person to be able to talk through their issues.
Hold on to that. I'm going to take a quick break. All right? And then we're going to dive deeper into that. This is Sidebar, 103 The Beat podcast powered by ILTV. I'm Stephen Hanna. We will be right back after this. Yeah, because I realized...
Get ready to win Lucky Bucks. Wherever you see this taxi, flag it down.
The boy hard, beating so hard, but I will be hard with what here. I'm looking for my first contestant to ride in the Lucky Taxi. You walk in the taxi, you got to do the Lucky Walk, Oh, thanks. Man, thank you, sir. 85 times 2 is how much, brother? You only win $170, brother.
I never expected to win as much as I win.
Bang along!
Very excited when the gentleman picked me to ride inside the taxi.
So if I had to choose a game that would stay, it would be Island of Taxi.
You could be next on the Island Lucky Taxi.
You wouldn't believe that number I just played, dropping quick 4. This 5K can come and clutch, my boy.
So you ain't had the mega ball on that?
You know mega ball on quick 4, my man.
Oh, okay then.
Mega Ball, now available on Quick 4. Multiply your winnings with the only 4-ball game that pays $20,000. With a draw every 30 minutes, your chances to win are mega.
I bet you I could beat you running into this long pole.
I bet you my drink will come out before yours.
Well,
I bet you I could hold my breath longer.
Bet.
Hey, wait.
If it can happen, you can bet it. So why not bet with us? The Bahamas #1 online casino, lottery, and sportsbook. We bet you won't find bigger payouts anywhere else but islandluck.com. Winners live here.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Welcome back to Sidebar, 103 The Beat podcast, powered by ILTV. I'm Stephen Hanna, and today we have with us Rodericka Collie, and we're talking about mental health in the Bahamas. All right? So now, before we get to convincing people that they need, actually, you know what? Let's start from there. All right? You see somebody, and you know that they're going through something.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the tools necessary to help them, but you know that they need help. And even if it, like, because there have been times where you're talking with the person and it just feel like you go in circles because the person, they're complaining about the same thing, but there's nothing, you don't know what actionable steps to give them, and or they are not taking the steps that you are suggesting, right? Because you could say, hey, you just need to avoid this or just do this, and like, you might be oversimplifying it. You say to them, well, first of all, is it appropriate to just be like, hey, you need a therapist? Because I mean,
Not if you say it like that.
Go ahead.
So therapy is something that's already delicate, right? Because no one wants to seem like they're crazy. And that's the connection that we make. Therapy, that's for crazy people. I don't need that, right? And so when you present therapy in a judgmental kind of way.
Did that come off as judgmental? Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
So if I say, Stephen, you need to go bathe, would you not be offended?
I mean, a little
of course
bit, yes.
You will.
It depends on who you are, I think.
No, that's offensive. if it's your friend, you just know not to take the offense personally.
Right.
But this statement itself is still offensive.
I guess.
So you don't want to present it in a judgmental kind of way. So you can simply say, you know, like, I don't know how to help you.
I'm a horrible person. It's like, continue. Go ahead.
So you can say, like, this sounds like a lot, and I don't know how to help you. I don't know how to show up for you. So I recommend you go into someone who actually know how to help you, because I don't.
All right.
To say, like, you know, I show up for you, I will talk to you, I will listen to you, but like, we're talking about the same thing over and over again, and I don't know how to help you. So you need to go to somebody that knows how to help you.
That almost felt like abandoning. But you said, I'll show up and talk to you. But
yeah, we can talk about it, but I don't know how to help you. I don't know what else to say besides being present. I can be present, I can show up for you, but I don't know how to help you. So maybe you should go to somebody that knows how to help you. That's much better than, girl, you need therapy. Especially as Bahamians, because we speak very colorfully and we speak judgmentally.
I don't say it side-eye.
Anyway.
I think you should see a therapist.
Yeah.
I don't, but okay.
That don't even make me feel safe, and I'm the therapist in this situation. Because if someone were to say, yeah, I think we need a therapist, that's offensive. That hurts a little piece, because you're trying to say something wrong with me.
No. Which brings us to the next
technically.
point. Yes.
Yes, but nobody wants to feel that, because we want it to feel safe.
Yeah, the thing is,
the whole concept of a safe space and vulnerability.
So, one, I am of the belief that nobody makes it out of childhood without some trauma. That is unfortunately life, right?
Yes.
No matter how good a home you have, no matter how well off you were, whatever, there's always some level of trauma. Like, some people are blessed and fortunate enough for their trauma to be, my parents never let me go to parties by myself, or they never took off the training wheels.
Right.
Some people are blessed at that, and then some people, their trauma is they never had they never had parents, right? And so in that regard, when it's like, I think that everybody is on some level broken, and that part of it is figuring out how to, for lack of a better term, to smooth out those jagged edges so that you stop cutting yourself and you don't cut other people as you maneuver through life. So yes, there is something wrong with you, but there's something wrong with everybody.
Right.
And that way we are all this wonderful tapestry of life, right?
Yeah, don't do that. So, firstly, there's two things to separate, which we never really separate when we talk about mental health in general, right? There is mental illnesses.
Right.
So you have people that experience psychosis, and people that have like delusions and hallucinations and stuff like that. Right. And then you have the struggles and challenges of life.
Right.
And that falls more under mental health.
Right.
In general. So you cannot have a diagnosable mental illness and you can still have a mental health challenge. So a lot of times we have to separate the two, and that helps to take some of the pressure off of it. Because before, when we started talking about mental health, our understanding was somnolence. Like, you got a lot going on, and that was what we knew. And so the stigma that we have a lot of times about mental health is just that.
Right.
You have to be a certain level of crazy in order to get there. And we don't think about mental health as just challenges and trauma as a whole, right? So that's the first distinction. And then the second distinction is that we do not like to acknowledge our issues.
Right.
We like to pretend that they don't exist. We like to distract ourselves from them because that's easier, right? And so sometimes, a lot of the times, people have these challenges, whether it's not knowing how to show up for their friends or not knowing how to show up for themselves, is because we don't want to deal with the things. I don't want to uncover what my parents did to me when I was 10 and how that negatively affected the person that I am now that I'm 30. We don't want to have that conversation. Right. I want to go to work. I want to go on vacation.
I want to
drink my Coronas.
What people do on Instagram, right?
Right. And so it's like, I don't want to, when people think about therapy, think about crying, I'm not sitting down talking about nobody about my feelings and crying.
I don't know, dude. Right. I don't think about therapy and crying, but then again.
People, a lot of people. Anybody got time for that?
You know what? I'm the weirdo.
Anybody got time for that? So the first big step is education. And it is slow to get to where we want to go, but the first big step is education. So like, I had a conversation with someone and they was like, oh, nobody need no counseling, nobody need no therapy, whatever, right? And within like 10 minutes of the conversation, they was talking to me about their childhood and talking to me about their parents and about their partner. And I was like, this is what a session is like. I give it to you for free.
I was like,
you got it for free. You got 10 minutes of a little whatever for free. But I was like, this is what therapy feels like. So whatever, sitting across the couch, tell me how does that make you feel, whatever, is not the narrative of what actually happens in a lot of cases in therapy. And people don't know that. And then we also think that it's lazy work. So like when we think about our guidance counselors in high school, a lot of people, they didn't do nothing.
I'm trying to remember the guidance. I thought the guidance counselor was to help you pick a career.
The guidance counselors are for things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they do psychology. They are supposed to be discussing mental health and teaching you about mental health and about self-care and self-love and all the things. But people don't do stuff. And so we don't know about mental health. And And another big part that comes away from education is that as a culture, we care about how we look to people. We are very, very prideful. And any kind of indication of a weakness is seen as something that people can take advantage of. And we don't want to do that. So I don't want to let you know that I'm not okay. I good. It don't matter if you see me crying, something going in my eye. I ain't crying for real, like good. And so we don't want to ever seem weak. And we also see therapy and asking for help in general as something that is weak. We don't want to ask for help. I know Charity. We are very prideful. I don't want, even if I go in for social services and their stamps, that's a secret. I don't want nobody to know that. And when I go in there, I go and dress up. For some people, I know some people who do that. I go in there, dress up, because I don't want nobody to think I'm not bad. So I still have my iPhone in my hand. It don't matter that I don't have no food to eat this week. That don't matter. I still have to save face. And we take that same approach with mental health as well, because we don't want to talk about how somebody hurt us. Because then I give you the power to hurt me, and I can't give you no power to hurt me. I can't give you no power to talk about me to nobody else, because the country's small, which means the person who you talking about is my therapist. I know that person from around the corner. Why would I tell you, especially on the family islands? I know you. Why would I tell you about my business for you to spread that? To who? Now, they don't know. That's why the education part comes in, that we are supposed to adhere to confidentiality. Right. Meaning that you're not supposed to tell anybody my business, but that don't matter. I'm not going to tell you. And so we come from a generation of people where, oh, nobody's supposed to know you frustrated. Nobody's supposed to know you hurt. When we watch our parents and our grandparents and whatever, you be strong. Especially when you're talking to man. You be strong. You don't cry. You don't have no feelings. You don't have no stress. No, be strong and get over it. And if you can't get over it, that means you just ain't praying hard enough. If you still stressed, go pray some more.
I've never heard a man say that. I've heard women say you gotta pray away stuff. But, once again.
No, the men say that you just be strong. To be strong for the men. That's weakness. Man ain't weak. Man don't have no feelings. That's what they like to say.
Who are these men?
Do you have a conversation with people?
I guess not.
Outside?
I'm guessing I don't.
No, so a lot of men feel like feelings is a female thing.
I've heard dudes say that, but I'm a person that I'm less concerned about what you say, because anybody could articulate or say a hot catchphrase, like, oh, fox over feelings, and or the truth don't care about your feelings. Anybody can say that. But then if you spend the next 30 minutes explaining why you can't trust women because women has hurt you, and this and that, and this and that, and that's why I'll never get married again, that's what you're doing.
Yes.
That's your actions, right? And so if your actions are telling me that you are afraid to open up to anybody ever again because women has used that stuff against you, then your feelings are a thing.
Right.
Your feelings are, they're impacting how you maneuver through life. So it don't matter that you're saying that, right?
Correct.
So to me, I hear what people say. I'm much more concerned about what you do.
Yes.
Right? Than that. So maybe that's why, to me, it's like, I guess, but
no.
I know do is
their intent, not their intent. No, their intent is to save face. But you cannot deny yourself from your human emotions.
Right.
And so as much as you try to pretend, you can't, but they're still gonna try to pretend.
And also it's like it is a matter of balance, because to be devoid of emotion altogether is weird, because you will make the wrong decision. Now there's some times where you have to overcome how you feel to make a decision. But at the same time, like, if you are making all your decisions in a cold, removed from humanity sort of way, you're going to make the wrong decision at some point.
Yes.
But I want to circle back to, on one hand, because you talk about silence, all right? And there are persons who, when they hear silence, they hear crazy.
Right.
But I also feel like nowadays we have a lot more people who are open to say, oh yeah, I go to therapy and I need to go see. So like, do you feel like it's still at the same place that it was before?
Drastically better. It is much, much better. And a lot of that comes from education. So one of the pros about social media is that...
One of the few. The few
benefits of social media is the education and the access that you have to education. And so we have normalized a lot of traumatic things. And so once you educate yourself and it's like, oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. I wasn't supposed to get beaten until I bleed. I thought that's what's supposed to happen. And so once you realize that like all these things I've been experiencing aren't okay, and then you get information about, okay, let me deal with these things. Let me see how these things are negatively affecting me. And so we have a lot of people that's doing the work in talking about mental health and the different ways that mental health affects you. They are utilizing platforms like this to make sure, whether it's in the schools, in the communities, or whatever, we're talking about mental health because it is improving, and I love that it's improving for youth as well. So once you start teaching the children about their own feelings and how to regulate, be aware of their feelings and how to regulate their feelings and all of the things and the parameters around mental health, then they can grow into healthier adults. And so we doing the work in promoting mental health. So it is better. We still have a long way to go because there is a lot of misinformation, but we're having the conversation.
As well as people using it as catchphrases like that. The negative part is people who say things like gaslighting for everything.
I have no idea what it means.
No idea what gaslighting is. No idea.
Like, oh my God, this person is a narcissist. They're not a narcissist. They're just selfish. A lot of people are selfish. That have nothing to do with being a narcissist. They're just selfish.
This is last thing, right? I think it is so weird that in the Bahamas, that 90% of men are narcissists, but there are no female narcissists in the world apparently. I've never heard a man say the woman is being a narcissist, but almost every time a dude does anything, it's like, oh, every time they break up with a dude, my ex was a narcissist.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
Because why would I blame myself?
Okay.
Why would I make myself the problem?
You're not making yourself.
No,
the
I
problem,
have to make other people the problem. I am the victim. I was hurt here. It doesn't matter that, like I was also selfish, but you was being selfish, so let's blame you. That feel better.
We're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna get final word from you. This is Sidebar, 103 The Beat podcast, powered by ILTV. I'm Stephen Hanna. We'll be back after this.
Get ready to win Lucky Bucks. Wherever you see this taxi, flag it down.
The boy hard, beating so hard, I will be hard. What here? I'm looking for my first contestant to ride in the Lucky Taxi. Walk in the taxi, you got to do the Lucky Walk, bro. Thanks. Man, thank you, sir. 85 times 2 is how much, brother? You only win $170, brother.
I never expected to win as much as I win.
Very excited when the gentleman picked me to ride inside the taxi.
So if I had to choose a game that would stay, it would be Island of Taxi.
You could be next on the Island Lucky Taxi.
You wouldn't believe that number I just played, dropping quick 4. This 5K incoming clutch, my boy.
So you ain't had the mega ball on that?
You know mega ball on quick 4, my man.
Oh, okay then.
Mega Ball, now available on Quick 4. Multiply your winnings with the only 4-ball game that pays $20,000. With a draw every 30 minutes, your chances to win are mega.
I bet you I could beat you running into this long ball. There.
I bet you my drink will come up before yours. Well.
I bet you I could hold my breath longer.
Bet.
Hey, wait.
If it can happen, you can bet it. So why not bet with us? The Bahamas' #1 online casino, lottery, and sportsbook. We bet you won't find bigger payouts anywhere else but islandluck.com. Winners live here.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Welcome back to Sidebar, 103 The Beat podcast powered by ILTV. I'm Stephen Hanna, and this is the Island segment. Eleuthero, top food, pineapple tart. I know, it could not be more cliche for somebody to be like, pineapple tart is the top food from Eleuthero. That's like somebody from Nassau saying that our island's dish is gunshot salad. But yes, I have been told it is pineapple tart. So if that is incorrect, let me know in the comments. Top export. The top export of Eleuthero is pineapples, science, and Lenny Kravitz. Eleuthero supplies the world with 100% of its Lenny Kravitz's. Top site to visit. They have inland blue holes that the residents swim in because they do not respect the laws of God. The glass window bridge, which I was confused when I first saw it and realized that it was not made of glass. And they have pink sand beaches, which honestly sounds like a drink. Is that a drink? That has to be a drink. It sounds like a type of rattler or something. This is Sidebar, 103 The Beat podcast powered by ILTV. I'm Stephen Hanna. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sidebar, 103 The Beat podcast powered by ILTV. I'm Stephen Hanna, and Rodericka, you have the final word. What is it that you would like the Bahamian public to take away?
I think one of the biggest takeaways when we are considering mental health is that just because you seem to be functioning doesn't mean you're actually okay. And so we don't consider that when we are going through our day-to-day activities. As long as the children eat, I go into work, I don't have to pay attention to any surface level any deeper feelings, just the things on the surface. So as long as I can go to work and whatever, and I will ignore all of the other challenges, I will ignore the things that are stressful, and I will only focus on work, I will only focus on success, I will only focus on money, I will only focus on that instant gratification and how I look within society, and making sure that those kind of things are set up. But when you want to actually take care of yourself, you have to focus on those deeper things. You have to focus on the food that you eat. Because if your body is using all of your energy to keep you alive because you only want to eat Wendy's, then your mental health is going to be neglected because all of those things are connected. You have to get in your sleep. You have to take time off of social media. You have to spend time in nature. Go plant a tree, go climb a tree, go get the mango off the top or something. Like, you have to spend time in nature, spend time having fun and focusing on the things that's not just money and success and the businesses and all this other kind of things. So go to therapy because it will help you to uncover all those things to make you better, to make you happier and feel better. Talk about the things. You can't pretend to be okay. That's not gonna make you any closer to actually being okay.
Okay. Well, there are several other things that we didn't get a chance to discuss, so we'll probably have you back on so we could dive in deeper. But thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for coming on. And thank you for joining us, Points to Radio. This has been Sidebar, 103 The Beat podcast, powered by ILTV. See you next week.